Now, with the fully redesigned second-generation Kia Seltos, the biggest change is arguably the addition of the hybrid model. For the hybrid model I'm driving right now, fuel economy varies depending on tire size, but it's officially rated at up to 45.9 mpg combined. On top of that, it includes Hyundai Motor Group's latest hybrid-focused features, such as interior VT Double and Stay Mode. It also gets Smart Regenerative Braking 3.0, which automatically optimizes regenerative braking using driving conditions and navigation data. And when you set a destination in the factory navigation system like I have now, it uses route prediction to optimize battery charge through the hybrid hierarchical predictive control system. So it's not just about saving fuel costs through high efficiency. You also get access to the latest electrification-focused features, which is another big appeal of this hybrid model. There's about a 4 million kRW price gap between the 1.6 gasoline turbo and the 1.6 hybrid. If you don't drive much and only look at fuel savings, the hybrid might not be necessary. But if your fuel savings over your ownership period offset that price difference, plus you consider the hybrid-specific features, I think demand for the hybrid version will likely be higher. Total system output is 141 horsepower. That's slightly lower than the gasoline turbo, but peak torque is 27.0 kgm, which is identical to the 1.6 turbo gasoline. There are only two drive modes, Eco and Sport. When you switch to Sport mode, Smart Regenerative Braking automatically turns off. In Sport mode, throttle response becomes sharper and steering feels slightly heavier. However, since the engine runs more consistently, engine noise inside the cabin becomes quite noticeable. And honestly, it's not the most pleasant engine sound. When I owned an Elantra hybrid before, I rarely used Sport mode for that reason. Switching back to Eco mode like this immediately makes the cabin feel quieter. Of course, if you press the accelerator hard, you'll still hear engine noise occasionally. But for hybrids, smooth driving with traffic flow is usually the most efficient and comfortable way to drive. Even in Sport mode, during high-speed driving, quick acceleration for overtaking doesn't feel particularly aggressive. Personally, the first probably wouldn't use Sport mode much. Even from a short test drive, it's clear the new Seltos hybrid is tuned primarily for efficiency. If you want more lively acceleration, the gasoline turbo is better. If you want smoother driving and higher fuel economy, the hybrid makes more sense. That said, acceleration isn't slow or lacking in normal driving. But when maintaining acceleration uphill, engine noise becomes more frequent. It's not underpowered, but it's not overly strong either. For driving fundamentals, the reinforced K3 platform is applied. It features a multi-load path front structure and increased use of ultra-high-strength steel. As a result, average body rigidity improved by about 20%, enhancing both crash safety and driving performance. Airbags have increased to 9, and higher-level ADAS features like Lane Keeping Assist 2 and Highway Driving Assist 2 are included. There's also steering wheel grip detection and driver attention monitoring, which shows how important this model is to Kia. The new Seltos even gets reverse guide lamps, something I first saw on Genesis models and envied at the time. It almost feels like it's stepping into premium territory. It also includes remote smart parking assist, thicker door glass for better cabin quietness, and sound-absorbing tires on 19-inch wheel specs. Weather strip thickness was increased on the upper section for better noise insulation and reduced on the lower section for easier door operation. Interestingly, while hybrids are expected to be quieter and smoother than gasoline cars, sometimes engine startup can make vibration and noise feel more noticeable. In the new Seltos, idle vibration is slightly higher than the gasoline version. The hybrid also uses EVMC technology, improving handling, ride comfort, and evasive steering through motor control optimization. On regular roads, despite the car growing larger, it's still very manageable as an entry SUV. Visibility is good in all directions, and the side mirrors are surprisingly large for the vehicle size. Braking feel is very good, and cornering performance is particularly impressive. Since the Seltos isn't a tall, top-heavy SUV, and with the hybrid battery mounted low, cornering feels very stable and clean. The gasoline odd and hybrid models both use a rear multi-link suspension, showing Kia put serious effort into ride quality improvements. Compared to the previous Seltos, ride comfort is noticeably better. At the media launch, design and feature upgrades stood out. But after actually driving it, ride comfort is the biggest improvement. It absorbs road vibration and impacts very smoothly. If you turn off smart regenerative braking and set regen level to level 3, you can reduce brake usage significantly. Holding the left paddle activates maximum regenerative braking. Inside the cabin, engine noise is still the most noticeable sound, but the tone is slightly lower than before. Road noise is well suppressed, and wind noise on the highway was relatively low, which actually made engine noise more noticeable. Material quality isn't particularly luxurious, but acceptable for the class. In city stop-and-go traffic and low-speed driving, the hybrid really shines. The Seltos is a key model for Kia globally, not just in Korea. It's one of Kia's best-selling SUVs worldwide after the Sportage. Since launching in 2019, it has sold over 2 million units globally, including over 330,000 units in Korea. This is the first full redesign in 6 years. Kia emphasizes class above size and product value. The overall silhouette follows traditional SUV proportions, combined with futuristic design elements for a strong yet refined look. This time, it also gets auto-flush door handles, which help create a modern, high-tech feel. The vehicle I'm driving is the standard model, but the design-focused X-Line trim is also available. The rear design looks very similar to the EV5. Compared to the previous model, length increased by 40 mm, wheelbase by 60 mm, and width by 30 mm. Rear passenger space improved too. Knee room increased by 25 mm, and headroom by 14 mm. Not huge, but definitely usable as a family SUV unless passengers are very large adults. Second row seats recline up to 24 degrees, and cargo space increased from 498L to 536L, with cargo length extended by 80 mm. Inside, the layout is wide and simple, enhancing the sense of space. It features a 12.3-inch cluster, 5-inch climate screen, and 12.3-inch infotainment screen in a wide display layout. The infotainment system is still CCNC, not the newer Plio system from PV5. There's also a windshield-type head-up display. The shift lever is an electronic column type. Rotate forward for drive, inward for reverse, with the park button on the outer side. Engine start-stop is positioned in the center. Manual mode is activated by rotating further while in drive, and paddle shifters work even in the hybrid. The car gets a Harman Kardon premium sound system. Decent, but not class-leading. However, Kia added a new Vibro seat, which vibrates with music for a more immersive experience. It's fun, but during high-speed driving, road vibrations reduce the effect. It's more noticeable at low speeds or when stopped. Windows use electromagnetic power safety technology, and the power tailgate includes a smart open function. Instead of kick motion, it opens automatically if you stand behind the vehicle for a few seconds. Some people might prefer kick motion for faster operation, but both have pros and cons. It also includes eHigh Pass, Digital Key 2, and built-in Cam 2 Plus. Ambient lighting is distributed subtly rather than continuous, helping avoid distraction while driving. Front seats are relaxation comfort seats, allowing better rest while parked. There's also a 100W USB-C charging port, which is extremely useful. For example, when I use interior VT wall in my EV3 to charge a laptop, with 100W USB-C, you don't even need VT wall for laptop charging, which is very convenient.